For my solo performance, I selected the character of the tourist, a highly satirical stimulus in which I knew I could draw a lot from. When starting to create and develop my solo performance, I began to research visual information from Google image searches and Pinterest boards, with the intent to trigger scene ideas and character development. The stimulus image of the stereotypical tourist was the launching pad for my entire solo, establishing stereotypes and generating characters. In regards to character development, a major motif of my solo was to demonstrate stereotypes. Major characters throughout my solo address such stereotypes.
There's a few things I should probably warn you about. First of all, you're gonna get wet. Well, because the country is surrounded by water.
Thus, it was important to research not only stimulus images, but watching videos to enhance my understanding of certain physical attributes. Research also plays a major role in the development of the dramatic metaphor, as traveller versus tourist images were found during this stage. Improvisation was then used throughout all my scenes, as I found this is the best method for scene development. Being able to experiment and improvise with my prop in different ways to create symbolic meaning and movement is something I do best at when simply improvising. Once I have a basic understanding of the dialogue and movement within the scene, I can then begin to script and edit my scenes. This current scene was purely developed through improvisation, as it contains little dialogue and was created through the style of improvised tableaus during a class workshop. Within my performance, editing and refining was used in conjunction with each other to create 3 versions of this particular script, from a quite basic dual dialogue scene to a more in-depth developed scene, which I feel as a result of the refining process is more relevant to the dramatic metaphor, as the 2 characters within this scene better contrast from one another, which is of the utmost importance to clearly contrast and differentiate between the 2. Within my stimulus material, the prescribed convention of caricature was an element of the performance I knew would help enhance satire. Thus, incorporating it into my solo, I knew initially it would be manipulated in a satirical way. The main feature of caricature within my solo was the caricature of the stereotypical tourist, focusing on exaggerated physicality of the character with elements of heightened use of language and exaggerated body movement, such as a clunky walk due to the heavy fanny pack on the costume. This short video within the series of Faulty Towers was a major source of inspiration, as he demonstrated an extremely satirical version of Hitler through the use of exaggerated movement. The prescribed dramatic element of sound plays a key role within my solo performance. The dramatic element of sound can come in many different forms, whether it be body percussion or vocal sound effects in song. It's a significant element of the performance that gives it another layer. Body percussion is an element I hope to further incorporate into my performance, but vocal sound effect is used throughout the performance. Most prevalent in this physical interpretation of momentous Australian landmarks. A sizzle sound was chosen as a representation of a sizzling suntan at Bondi Beach.
Beep beep, time to flip.
And to symbolize traveling from location to location, the use of a commonly known travel song was vocalized, as seen in this following video.
10 bottles of beer on the wall, 10 bottles of beer.
When comparing and contrasting between the processes of ensemble and solo performances, many correlate with one another. Firstly, the playmaking process is a technique that can be used in both settings. Research and brainstorming can be quite a collaborative process. Brainstorming as a group for our solos was seen in several classes and is quite effective as more minds allow for more ideas, which can be extremely helpful when developing a 7-minute performance. In contrast to ensemble development, rehearsal and refining the performance is very much an individual process. Though when it came to small performances in front of the class, feedback in a group format is done in a similar manner to that of an ensemble performance, which can be quite effective. Thank you very much for listening and hope you have a wonderful day.